Okay, thank you. We are from Sheehan High School. This is Sheehan High School Jazz Ensemble. My name is Mr. David Jardina. That was Joe Bernick on Barry sax and Kelly Musanti on guitar. This next song is going to feature a couple solos. I'll introduce them now. Jason Myers on alto sax, Joe Bernick again on Barry sax, Stephen Fengler playing trombone. He's our lone trombone tonight. We have two other trombones that couldn't make it, and Daniel Forte will be playing a tenor sax solo. This is called Honk. You'll know why it's that name from the very last note of the song. Okay, if you're just walking in, we are the jazz ensemble from Sheehan High School. We have a couple more songs to do for you. The next song is going to feature Mason Armstrong on alto sax and Stephen Fengler once again on trombone. This is called Hat Trick. Okay, the next selection is called Make Me Smile from by Chicago. Okay, those of you coming in late, we are from the jazz ensemble from Sheehan High School. We have a couple more songs, and hopefully you can get started with your program at 7 o'clock. The next selection is going to feature a couple of soloists, Joe Bernick on Barry sax again, and Jason Myers on alto. This is called Chameleon. Okay, I think we're out of time. Thank you for having us. Okay, and congratulations to all of you that are receiving awards tonight. Hopefully you guys do well in the rest of the school year. I know we have a couple months left, but thank you again. Sheehan High School Jazz Ensemble, one more time. We have a concert coming up on May 9th, and then after that we'll be taking these guys to the elementary schools to do a couple performances for the younger students. So we enjoyed playing for you tonight. Thank you again.
Good evening and welcome to the 26th Annual Board for Youth Recognition Student Service Award ceremony. My name is Craig Turner. It's my pleasure to have you here, and we're thankful that you have encouraged your children, your students, and other folks to commit to doing good works, not only in Wallingford, but in surrounding towns, out of state and even out of country. It's really the fabric of a society that is strong when those who can reach down to help those who can't. And we need to remember that all the time. Before we begin the actual distribution of the awards, I'm going to ask two members of the Elks Club to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
So there are some individuals that I would like to recognize tonight who are in attendance that represent organizations that are strongly supportive of youth community service and the good work that students and children in our community perform. From the Wallingford School District, we have Sal Menzo, Superintendent of Schools. I believe Todd Snyder from DAG Hammersholt is here, Principal. Cindy Lavalette, who's the Assistant Superintendent. So, some of you may know Cindy. I've had the pleasure of working with Cindy in the 20 years I've been here. And some of you may or may not know that she has decided to retire after some 33 years in the district this year. Rosemary Duthie from Sheehan High School, is she here? Rosemary? Christina Sagnella from Parker Farms. Gregory Dirksen from Sheehan High School, is he here? Sal, do you want to introduce the chairman of the Education Department, the Board of Ed?
And it is my pleasure. Actually, we have at least one other board member who is known as the photographer of the town, but Mr. Ray Ross, who is our board member. And it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Roxanne McKay, Board Chair for Wallingford Board of Education.
Well, now the fun begins. Without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Reverend Margaret Jay, who is the committee chairperson for the Wallingford Board for Youth.
Of all the activities I've had the privilege of participating in with the Wallingford Board for Youth, I think none gives me greater pleasure than this evening when we recognize the outstanding contributions of young people in this community for all that they do and for their gifts of talent and creativity and passion for the work that they are engaged in. It is truly an evening of celebration. And on behalf of the Awards Committee of the Wallingford Board for Youth, I also want to express my thanks and appreciation to parents and grandparents, for those who have mentored young people in the agencies and organizations where they have given volunteer service, and for those in the school system and other places that encourage them every day as they develop their own abilities and have the opportunity to learn and share those. The quote that is on the cover of the bulletin this evening from Winston Churchill, I think, says a lot. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Young people who give of themselves shape their life journey as they learn new skills, they learn how to work with one another, they learn how to work with grown-ups who aren't always easy to work with. But they also have the opportunity to test themselves, to learn new skills, to find out what they enjoy doing. It's a great piece of their development as young adults. But the truth of the matter is that they make the life of this community and the places where they serve deeper and richer because of their participation. And so this evening we recognize those commitments and those accomplishments, and that is something to celebrate. But before we get to the presentation of the Board for Youth Awards, I want to call forward Julie Good, who is the past exalted ruler of Elks Club 1365, for the presentation of Elks Club Scholarship.
Good evening, everyone. It is our profound pleasure to be here this evening among all these scholars, and I'm sure that you will enjoy the evening and see what all these young youths can do for this community. And I want to introduce the Wallingford Elks Lodge Exalted Ruler, Tom Smith.
Good evening. Good evening. I commend each of you tonight and the recipient, the awards that you're receiving tonight, and I take great comfort in the fact that we are blessed with such fine youth to lead us into the future.
Thank you, Tom. Joe Dahl is our committee chairman.
Good evening. Craig said keep it short. It was about an hour and a half last year. I think we got it down to about an hour, so get comfortable. I just want to speak quickly about the Elks in general. The Elks National Foundation and the Elks National gives a lot back to the community. We're a community-based organization. We've been in Wallingford 99 years. Next year is our 100th birthday. We're all about working together and giving back, which is why we're giving out these scholarships tonight, which I'm not going to speak to. I'm going to let Bob do that. But you all volunteers, when you get older, come join the Elks. We need you.
And also the chairman, Bob Suick.
My name is Bob Swick. I'm the co-chair of the Wallingford Elks Lodge 1365 Scholarship Committee. The Elks National Foundation provides more than $2.76 million in college scholarships each year through its 4 scholarship programs. 800,000 plus members through 1,900 lodges are involved. All of this money is completely donated by Elks members. These scholarships include the most valuable student scholarship, which are 500 four-year scholarships ranging from $1,000 per year to $12,500 per year for graduating high school seniors based on financial need, leadership, and scholarship. We also have Legacy Awards, which are 4-year, $4,000 merit-based scholarships for children and grandchildren of Elks who are members in good standing. We also have an Emergency Educational Grant, which are 1-year educational grants available to children of deceased or totally disabled Elks. There is also the Gunther and Lee Wagle Medical School Scholarships, which are 6 $20,000 scholarships offered to Elk scholars, current or alumni, entering their first year of medical school. The Wallingford Elks Lodge 1365 has over 1,100 members and is very active in the community of Wallingford with our lodge scholarships. We gave out $4,500 worth of scholarships this year, $2,000 as a lodge, and $2,005 in memory of Peter Wazalewski. The Wallingford Elks Lodge 1365 is pleased to announce the following recipients for its 2017-18 Lodge scholarships. First, please come up to receive your award. First, from Sheehan High School, Leigh Karaben. From Sheehan, Madison Nylander. From Sheehan, Ashley Penjensen. And from Lyman Hall, Caitlin Smith. I'd like to congratulate all our award winners tonight for their hard work and achievements, and may their future lives be filled with great accomplishments and success.
So before I invite Margaret back up to begin the awards, little housekeeping. So it's really important that we have a really nice looking program on film because we like to show the kids off. All of the recipients are sitting over in this section of the chamber, and when you come up, just come up that walkway and then come over here as far as you can to receive your award, and then step back basically where you saw those students standing. And Jan will help you if you are confused about that. For those of you who don't know, Jan Server, who is the program coordinator for the youth activities out of the Department of Youth and Social Services, is responsible for tonight. And in addition to that, those of you who are peer advocates in the high school know that she also runs the Wallingford High School Peer Advocate Program, which not only does community service, but goes into the elementary and middle schools to do anti-bullying programs. And if you're in Sheehan on Friday and you're a junior or senior, you will see her program, which is the mock car crash, and then the prevention program with the police department that happens after that. So please thank Jan for her efforts tonight.
Before coming back up here, Craig Turner suggested that there were some other people that we ought to also acknowledge, that we are aware that Jason Zandri, member of the town council, is in the house, and we certainly recognize him. And if there are other members of the Board for Youth, I would certainly also invite them to stand to be recognized. Perhaps there are not. At this time, I would also like to invite forward our mayor, William W. Dickinson Jr., and our superintendent of schools, Sal Menzo, to participate with the presentation of our awards. The first first set of awards are the Board for Youth Awards, for those that have been nominated for their contributions to various churches, healthcare facilities, schools, and other organizations and activities within the community. As your name is read, and I hope that I can pronounce all of the names as your parents wished them to be pronounced, and you wish them to be pronounced, so bear with me a little bit. But I also ask that parents hold applause until everyone has received their awards. There will be an opportunity, obviously, to do that, as well as to take some group pictures as well. For the Board for Youth Awards, Joshua Bergeron. Chase Britton. Jillian Burns. Christina Capola. Alyssa Carbodi. Sydney Karam. Olivia Cudicelli. Sophia Diaz. Alexa Fitzgibbons. Crystal Gallagher. Stephanie Garcia. Isabel Hodem. Your applause is welcomed. This is the second set of our Board for Youth Awards. Melissa Juarez. McKenna Liu. Selby Lyons. Jenna McCarthy. Michelle Morales. Gabrielle Mashinsky. Nelson. Ava Raffone. And Bella Raffone. Claire Viola. Grace Waldron. And Colin Westbrook. The next set of awards are part of the presidential award process as well. And in your bulletin this evening, there's an indication of the amount of volunteer time that is expected of young people to be recognized at the various levels of these awards. The first awards will be the Bronze Awards. For those who are age 5 to 10 years old, it requires a commitment of 26 to 49 hours of volunteer service. For those is age 11 to 15, 50 to 74 hours. And for those who are age 16 to 25, the Bronze Award requires a contribution of time of 100 to 174 hours of volunteer service. The recipient of the Bronze Award this evening is Srivani Agnihotram. The next recipient, Ryan Carey. Justin Sear. Carolina Draghi. Benjamin Ireland. Gary Lynn. Rachel Guarello. As you may have noticed, the recipients get not only the certificates that are in those large manila envelopes, but also a pin distinguishing the bronze, silver, and gold awards. Continuing a presentation of Bronze Awards, The next recipient is Thomas Skalski. Hannah Stein. Aaron Stone. Michelle Ann Trio. Owen Tuil. Allison Villano. Isabella Welch. The next set of presentations are for the Silver Award. For those younger children who are 5 to 10, it requires 50 to 74 hours of volunteer service. For those 11 to 15, 75 to 99 hours. And for those who are 16 to 25, they have contributed 175 to 249 hours of volunteer service. The first recipient, Sarah Aquila. Peter Borzillo. Annalie Hutchins. Anika Kumar. Shreya Patel. Anastasia Pezza. Anna Tai. Our final set of awards are the Gold Awards. And for those in the youngest age group, it requires 75 or more hours of volunteer service. For those 11 to 15, 100 or more hours. And for those who are 16 to 25, it means that they have contributed 250 or more hours. It is a great accomplishment. Emma Candelli. Natalie DiDomenico. Rajan Doran. Alexis Eaton. Brian Fernando. Chelsea Fitzgerald. Sean Formantes. Aaron Gamble. And now presenting the final group of our Gold Award recipients this evening. Jessica Giamatti. Aaron Lamb. Janai Martinez. Julissa Montanez. Caitlin Nolan. Dilawise Ray. Joseph Tang. Leanne Trio. And Matthew Verrilli. I want to thank Dr. Menzo and Mayor Dickinson for their participation in these presentations, and now turn things back to Craig Turner, Director of Youth and Social Services.
So I had the chance, excuse me, to sit in the crowd tonight, and I heard a few people wondering aloud about why we call it the Presidential Student Service Award. So it's because it comes from the President of the United States under his auspices. And it's actually a very rigorous process and application, and there's a lot of paperwork that's involved to vet every one of those processes that go on. So it is a significant accomplishment at every level. And I think in the packets that each student receives, there's a letter from the president thanking them for their contribution to our country and their work. So our final award comes historically from Michael Small. Michael Small was a director of the Boys and Girls Club in town. And I'm going to now introduce his wife, Janice, who will come forward and present the Michael Small Award, which is kind of the cream of the cream of the cream of the group that are here tonight.
He would have liked that. Good evening. I always like to congratulate the parents. You're doing a wonderful job, obviously. So give yourselves a hand. This award includes a cash gift, a plaque, and the recipient's name goes on a plaque in the Boys and Girls Club. A couple of months ago, there was a story on the news about an elderly woman. She lived alone and she was pretty much stuck in her house. And she wrote a letter to her neighbor. She did not know her neighbor. And she told her neighbor that she was all alone, she was very lonely, and she asked if the neighbor could be her friend. It has a happy ending because the neighbor got in touch with her and they did become friends. And I started thinking about the baby boomer generation, which apparently I'm told I'm part of. And there's a lot of us. There's 77 million baby boomers. And you start thinking about, well, who's going to care for these people? So I thought about the millennials, and it turns out there's 83 million of them. And I thought about them, well, I said, well, the good news is a lot of them are still living at home. But the bad news is they blame our generation for the fact that they're still living at home. So maybe that's not going to work out quite so well. And then there's this generation. This generation, the estimates are between 65 and 77 million of you. I'm not sure why there's such a disparity in the estimate. And it turns out they haven't given you a name. I don't know who they are. I don't know who gets to name generations, but my suggestion to you is that you pick the name before they do, because eventually they'll give you a name. And with all kinds of recent events, I really believe that this is the generation that gives us all hope. You are... You are standing tall. You're questioning why our generation is not doing the right things. You're being active. You're compassionate. You're volunteering. And you sincerely are giving us hope that we're all going to make it. And us baby boomers will, in fact, be taken care of. And the recipient tonight of this award, I think is the youngest. I don't think anybody younger anyway has gotten this award, has put in 444 hours over the past year as a 14-year-old. And the words used to describe this young man are that he has a positive attitude, that he spent all this time working with the elderly, anticipating their needs and addressing them. And that was something that was repeated. So not just helping out, but actually understanding what the situation was for the individual, the elderly individual, and reaching in and stepping in without being specifically told what was necessary and taking that extra step. So that is why, one of the reasons why we should all have great hope. And it's really my honor to give this award to Matthew Varilli. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to now ask Mayor William W. Dickinson to come up and give some remarks before we see the slideshow. Don't leave before the slideshow.
Well, good evening. Always an incredible evening. We are recognizing some amazing people and what they are accomplishing. You know, recently on the news was a little story about a woman who had some serious health problems, and really they threw her for a bit of a loop. She really didn't know what she would do with her life. So she took a job as a bus driver, a school bus driver. What happened on her bus was a little elementary school age young lady, a girl, who recently had lost her mother. That little girl was suffering. Her father was doing the best he could. But certainly her teacher noticed there was a change. She wasn't happy. She was troubled. She wasn't involved. This school bus driver noticed this. And on a daily basis, she noticed this little girl had trouble with her hair. No one to show her how you deal with long, beautiful hair. The school bus driver struck up a conversation with her. And that ended with, when they arrived at the school, she would wait a few minutes after everyone got off the bus, and the school bus driver brought brush and whatever other tools are needed, and helped this little girl with her hair. So one day it was combed beautifully and long, another day fancy braids. There was a change. The teacher noticed a change. This little girl was no longer uninvolved. This little girl had hope, a belief in herself. The teacher was curious about what had happened and became aware of what was happening on that bus. And hence the story became known. Smiling into the life of someone else. So simple, but absolutely essential for a caring community. Our public health department and the public schools are encouraging healthy lifestyles, and the logo is Eat, Play, Unplug. And one of the first themes has been choose kindness. We have, and I counted the number of names, 100 people showing thousands of hours worth of being kind. There's no better way to be a good person and contribute to the well-being of everyone around you. You are showing that way. You know, John Denver has a song with the title of Rhymes and Reasons. And some of the chorus is, the children, youth and flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Your laughter and your loveliness will clear a cloudy day. Like the music of the mountains and the colors of a rainbow, you're the promise of the future and a blessing for today. You are such a blessing. We thank you so much. Congratulations.
We have one additional Board for Youth award that slipped through this evening, and it's a person who is special to me, a member of our church, Julia Holinsky.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. me.
So that concludes our show for the evening. Thank you for bringing the stars with you tonight. Know that there's some refreshments out in the lobby on your way out that are provided by Girl Scout Troop, Wallingford Girl Scout Troop 60197, the First Grade Daisies. Have a good night.